Alright, yeah.
Thank you.
Good?
Yes, all good. Hello everybody, you okay?
Yeah!
Good.
Right, Charlie, we're going to sit you here, please. If we could stick that microphone,
Yes.
mate, that'd be absolutely
No worries,
fantastic.
no problem.
How are you, mate? All right?
I'm all good, thank you.
Good. Thanks for your time.
That's alright. Nah, that's fine, mate, no worries. Nick got involved, touched with me, I don't know,
Yeah.
a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
And I met him in the chats, and then we literally just went from there, really.
Okay.
So,
So
no,
we're
fine.
going to start this by asking about,
Yeah, fine.
thoughts on this, a little
Fine.
bit into your past.
Fine.
We'll just see where the conversation.
Yeah, that's
Couple of
right.
questions that I've already written. And
Yeah.
what I'm going to do is throw it out to them because a couple of them want to ask you.
Yeah, of course.
questions.
Yeah. Yeah, I see it down there. Yeah, that's fine.
Let me just grab that one.
No problem. No problem.
And that's yours, mate.
Top man, thank you.
I'm going to take the first.
Right, guys, you ready? Yeah. Guys, are you ready?
Yeah!
And who do we have sat here with me?
Charlie Austin! Charlie Austin! Charlie Austin!
And who's excited to hear about what... I didn't finish what I was going to say, but brilliant. Who's excited to hear what Charlie has to say?
Oh, me.
Who's got some really cool things they want to ask Charlie Austin? Good. Well, Charlie, as you can see, the audience is here
Yeah.
for you. How do you feel when you see young kids sat here with such a great incentive here, like the Headstart Skillz Camp?
It's great to see. First, thank you very much for your reception. I mean, it don't matter how long I've done it for, it's still nice to be cheered for. Listen, I think it's a great initiative what the guys and everybody involved are doing. It gives the youngsters a big opportunity, and I don't know, you don't see these kind of camps anymore. Okay, you see certain football camps, but not everything that you can see on there, that what's on offer that you guys bring as a group. So I think it's fantastic for everybody to be involved.
Brilliant. Well, when you were growing up, Charlie, you're a Swindon boy, aren't you? Were these kinds of incentives around for you when you were on your school holidays?
Oh really? We had, like, listen, you need to remember, like, how many of you have got electronic, how many of you have got iPads? Games, PlayStations? No? PS4? Yeah? Well, when I was your age, that wasn't a such thing. Right? There was none of that. So think how many people have them. As a child, we know it was almost like me outside at the rec park, wherever, with the ball or on the bikes or anything like that, and it was playing. We just had this one thing that was called Play Scheme, really, and all it was they would just take you on certain trips. So I remember for my one, we went to the old Wembley.
Oh wow!
Yeah, when they took us there, and I don't know what it was. I think it was a play scheme or something like that. But that was it. And then they kind of filter out, don't they? Because obviously everything that comes, well, how the world's obviously transformed and stuff. But the incentive, this kind of stuff, it certainly wasn't on. Or if there was on, it was only one specific thing, not all that's to be offered.
Yeah, amazing. You were showing your age there when you said the old Wembley.
I know, yeah.
The old Wembley.
I don't know, the new Wembley, it was the old Wembley. That was it.
Brilliant. So why did you personally choose to get involved with this initiative in Headstart Skillz, Charlie?
I think it's the opportunity, I think. Listen, I get asked for a lot of things, and not everything comes across me where I want to be involved in it. I'm from Hungerford, which is 10 minutes down the road. My wife's a Swindon girl, so it kind of when I read about it and everything that's going on with children, listen, I'm a father, I've got 3 young kids also. You don't see this often. These opportunities to be involved with stuff like this, where you can get a group of children or a big group of children or whatever it is, and really get across to them what is going on and give them certain opportunities that they may face later on in life, or sooner rather than later, you know. So it was one of them that just made me feel, listen, it's going to give back to the community, it's going to be good to be involved in, and the guys that run it are fantastic people.
Are they fantastic people? Are the coaches fantastic guys?
Yeah!
And like you said, you know, touching on it there, Charlie, you know, it's not just the development that the kids get on the camp. Again, it's those life skills they'll take away from here.
Yeah.
Why do you think that's important then, Charlie?
Because you never know. Every individual, everybody that hears, everyone's different. Everyone comes from different kind of the backgrounds and households and all that kind of stuff. But you just never know. You could be walking down the street and someone, so you can do first aid when you're there could be an elderly person or a younger person or whatever just collapses. We don't know what you're going to face day to day, so it could just collapse. And at their age, to know what to do or who to phone or how to just make them first 2, 3, 4 steps is fantastic. So I just think for as long as you guys are here, just listen to the people that are in charge, because they're certainly going to help you going forward.
And like we were saying, the incentives that this camp offers now is different than even when I was
Yeah.
young. I'm a bit older than you, Charlie, if I may say, but to kind of be doing all these things rather than just playing sport, because as we know, sport is great and it's great for our mental health and physical health, but it's all the other things as well that are important.
Yeah, I think the big one now is, like I said, you look at, I asked how many people have like a phone or an iPad or a PlayStation or a console, whatever it is. The online safety, I think you hear it in schools, and I wasn't the greatest at school, and we all only listened to one subject, and that was PE. But do you know that, because online safety wasn't a thing when I was there. I think we just started getting computers in school. When I was there. Now everybody has some kind of way to get into the internet. We don't know. Even myself now, and I have social media. Even when you're speaking to certain people online, I don't know who they are. It could be a fake account. Some of the guy playing against the boys and the girls are playing. Even my kids, when they're playing against people on their consoles and stuff, they don't know who they're playing. So it's like the online safety bit is so important. It really is. You try and get it across to the kids as much as possible, because as a parent or as an adult looking at your children or your niece and your nephew and stuff, the last thing you want to feel safe, don't you, whilst they're on there. So I think that is also a big thing, and I try and get it across to my kids as much as possible.
Do you think the world's changed in that respect then Charlie? Say when we were younger, like we said, there wasn't so much awareness to all these important things.
I think the biggest thing is, when I was younger, I could be a kid, and kids were kids when I was younger. Unfortunately, now they've a lot's thrown upon their toes. That's just my opinion. When I was younger, I could be a kid and I could ride my bike to the park and play football with all my mates and pretty much have no worries, and go home when the street lights were on or certain time. Do you know what I mean? I could go where I want. Now, kids have got so much more on their hands, which I think is sad, because being a kid is the best thing ever. Being at school is the best thing ever. When you leave school and you have to go and work and all that kind of stuff, that's where it's hard work. But you go to school with your friends every single day, Monday to Friday, and it's the best time ever. And I think if you could ask the majority of the adults here, probably all of them, if they could go back to school, and I think the most of them would say yes.
Yeah. Do you guys enjoy school?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Edit that note.
Yeah.
Edit that note.
It's boring.
Okay.
I hate maths.
We've got a million questions, Charlie. Some pre-written, some the kids want to ask you live. So we're going to do that in a second. But can I just ask you one more thing, Charlie, before we get into that?
Yeah.
If you could offer every single one of these kids, and even us adults, because we're all still learning, and we're going through life the best we can. If you could offer one piece of advice, what would it be?
When you get a setback, a disappointment, you need to put it for as far back as your memory and forget about that, and find a place where you can go and be the best version of yourself. If you give something 100%, that's all anyone can ask for. It doesn't matter if you're playing a sport, in maths because you don't like maths, you're in English, anything. If you give 100% for your teacher, for your sports coach, for anything you do, no one can ask for any more.
So can we all commit to doing that from now? Put your hand up and say, I will give 100%
I will give 100%
to everything I do.
to everything I
Because Charlie Austin told us to.
do.
Fantastic, Charlie. Right, guys, are you ready? Okay, so Charlie, as I said, we gave the kids an opportunity to, ask any questions that they wanted to. So some are pre-written, some of the kids want to ask you live. So what I'll do, if I just start by a couple of the I vetted them, Charlie, so it's all good.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, so I'm just going to pick a couple of random ones, and then what we're going to do, as I told you earlier, I'm going to go around and ask a couple of you guys if there's anything you want to ask, okay? So Charlie, I'm going to start with this one. Do you prefer golf or football, Charlie?
No, football's my job. It's what I wanted to do ever since I was your age. So I have to say football. However, golf is my hobby, is my getaway. But football is my main.
What's your handicap, Charlie?
10. 10 off golf, but played to about 12. 10's just a false one.
Nick, is that good? Because I don't know.
10's pretty good.
Yeah, well done, Charlie.
Sociable. I'm a sociable golfer. All
right, I'll ask you one more from here, Charlie, then we'll go around and see which one of these guys wants to ask you. So who was your football idol when you were growing up?
Alan Shearer was my football idol. For years, he was just someone that, growing up, he was the one that scored all the goals, and being a youngster that was a centre forward, I just always looked up to him, really. And it just went from there. I just liked more. Whoever scored the goals was someone that I always looked up to, but Shearer was my main one, yeah. And he was England captain, so it made it easy.
So growing up, you wanted to be the man scoring all the goals?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was very fortunate to be able to live every kid's boys and girls, especially the girls now, the way the game's evolving, dream, I guess, and I'm just one of the lucky ones.
Just a sub question on that then, because you said about the girls, and obviously we've got the World Cup going on now. You know, how do you perceive this women's game, Charlie? Because it's come on leaps and bounds even in the last couple of years.
I think it's in a place where it's evolving so much that it's at a point now where it needs to continue to listen. We're the pivotal, aren't we? I think with football in general, this country, for such a small country, where football is, if the women's game grows here, then it's going to grow majority across most of the world. And now it's all about just getting the interaction with the fans. Yes, on the telly, which is great, but you can't beat the fans in the stadiums. And I just think if they can get that even more so, then the game will grow even more, and it gives opportunity for everybody then.
Amazing, thank you, Charlie. Okay then, guys, I'm going to put it out to you. So put your hand up who wants to ask Charlie a question. I'm going to ask this little man here. Stand up for us if you can. Are you okay to stand up and ask Charlie a question? Or would you rather sit down and ask Charlie a question?
Me?
Yeah.
Is he a defender?
No. I'll defend from the front. No, I'm the one who kicks in the goal, mate.
Who's the toughest defender you ever played against?
Virgil van Dijk, Vincent Kompany, one of them.
A couple of local guys there.
Local ones, yeah, local ones.
I'm going to ask my little Man United friend, do you want to stand up and ask Charlie a question?
Mbappe or Haaland?
Oh,
Yeah,
I like Haaland.
Yeah.
I like Haaland.
What is it about Haaland then?
I think if you could design a footballer, I think
Guys?
if you could design a footballer, that would be it. Obviously 6'4", just really quick, knows how to put the ball in the back of the net. And until people come to the Premier League, then I'd always choose the Premier League players over everybody else. Yeah.
I think you're right. It's like a test, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. All ready now. Pre-season's all done. Now we don't have to run no more. Looking forward to it. Just need a couple more players just to bolster the squad, and then I think we'll be okay. Just something to look forward to. Are you going the weekend? Are you going the weekend? To Colchester? Pardon? Are you going to the Colchester game? No, I wouldn't blame you. It's in the middle of nowhere, isn't it? I wouldn't be going if I didn't have to, mate.
When are you going to be back on TalkSport?
When am I going? Well, you don't want to listen to people on there, boy. I don't know yet. I don't know. When I was in London, it was easy because the radio station was in London. I was obviously in London, so it was only 20 minutes on the train. I don't know. I'm on there tomorrow. tomorrow morning. But it's good fun. Just give your opinion. That's all. It'd be like that's what you do. And when you ask me if I liked Mbappe or Haaland, my opinion is just is Haaland, and then you give your reasons why. Some people now go on there and say certain things just for so many views and all the clickbait stuff. For that, none of that was there when I was your age, so I never had to part with any of that.
Do you hate Oxford?
Do I hate Oxford?
This has been recorded.
I can only give this answer, like a proper answer, if I'm from Swindon, so I just what happens, isn't it, I guess.
So the politically correct thing says you prefer Swindon to Oxford, Charlie.
Correct.
Fantastic. Can we ask Hope?
Yes.
Yes, Hope.
So what's like your favourite thing about playing football? Like what makes it fun?
Oh, good question. What makes it fun? Okay, so when I was your age, all I wanted to do was play football. Now I go to work. I have the cheat to say football is work, that's my job. And so when you guys go to school and you just have all your friends together constantly, or not even that, if you go to a club or you go around your friend's house or meet at the park, I do that every day with all my friends, which are my teammates, and I meet them and just have a kickabout and play football. It's the most enjoyable thing I think I could ever wish to do. I think we all have individual dreams, and mine was to become a footballer. When I was your age, it never changed, and I was just very fortunate that I was part of the very small percentage of boys and girls that get fortunate to make it, and that was me. So the long and short of it is, I do, as my wife says, I do PE every day.
I also got another question. What's your opinion on women's football?
The women's game is growing so fast in this country, which ultimately expands across the world. And as long as this country backs it, then I don't see how it won't continue. Do I think it will get to the heights of the men's game? I'm very unsure. At this precise moment, the men's game is so big across the whole world, but the steps that the women's game are making are surely on that path to get close to it.
Alfie?
Do you remember the very first score? Do you remember the score in the very first match?
As a professional or as a child?
As a professional.
Yeah, I played at Carlisle.
Swindon.
Yeah, at Carlisle away after 3 minutes. It was. That was a dream come true.
Wow.
When I see the ball at the net, yeah, it certainly was. Then that was the start. That was the start of the journey.
I can imagine that was one heck of an experience for you, Charlie. Like I say, did you feel as though you would work your whole life for that?
For that moment. Yeah, I think so. For that moment, but then it comes to the point when you always want more, and I wanted to do it. Scoring a goal is. It doesn't matter where you play. I think scoring a goal is that feeling that it recreates through your body is phenomenal feeling, and you just want to go after it again and again. So.
Amazing.
How long have you been doing it?
How long have I been doing it? So professionally I've been doing it since I was 20, so 14 years. But playing football since I was about 3. Yeah, for a long time, for a long time. And I always used to have a ball and just kick it everywhere. And when I used to go to my nan and granddad's house, I'd take a ball, or to the park, everywhere.
Darcy, you got a question?
Yeah. What do you do besides football?
What do I do? Well, I have to be a husband, and I have to be a dad, but my big hobbies are golf. I like going to golf because I can go there and switch off, and where the manic of football is, because it's my day-to-day life, my release is to go and play golf with a couple of friends and talk about absolute nonsense, and I'm 4 hours away from being Charlie Austin the footballer.
With all these other hats you wear, Charlie, like you say, the husband, the dad.
Yeah, listen, you just find a hobby, I think, and for me that is going going to play golf. Yeah.
Right.
Oliver?
When did you first get signed for an academy?
Oh, well, I was not at the academy. See, I don't like them. I was 9 and left when I got released when I was 14, and then I thought my dream was over when that happened, and I just played grassroots football, and then into the men's game, and it was 20 when I got signed again, thinking my dream was over, that I would never make it. My issue with the academies is you can release someone at 9 to 14 and then they make it at 20, but you keep them all the way till they're 18 and they never make a first team appearance. I'm okay with academies taking players at 15, 16, taking children at 7, 8 and 9. I'm not a big fan of at all.
Would you rather win the World Cup or the Champions League?
Oh, World Cup. World Cup. Because I think if you win the World Cup, now if you win the Champions League, it's fantastic, right? Obviously you can imagine, massive big trophy and that. Just for that one selected team. But, and now I'm saying as an England fan, could you imagine if we won the World Cup that just went past? I think it unites the nation, but also as being that team, part of that team that won the World Cup, that united the nation. Me included here, and all you guys sat on the floor, and probably about 5 people can remember the 1966 World Cup. We still go on about that. Do you know what I mean? We said that is the one, and it's constant. It's constant about that reason that we won the World Cup in 1966. So the World Cup, I think, for England would be a phenomenal achievement. I hope we're getting close. I just hope in my lifetime I get to see it.
How close do you think, Charlie?
I don't think we can get much closer. I mean, we've done in the Euros in the final. If Harry Kane don't miss the penalty, we'll beat France, and we probably go close, albeit that it was Messi's World Cup and it was the fairy tale that I think everybody wanted, other than your country, our own country winning it. So I think this is a perfect time for us to win it over the next 4 to 8 years. Yeah.
So my question, Charlie, so at Headstart Skillz, we're obviously trying to upskill all the children in loads of different areas. So now you're at maybe the later part of your career. What's next for Charlie Austin after football?
I only know football, to be honest. I only know football. So some involvement in that, whether that be management, coaching, talking about football in some kind of capacity, I think that's my strength. If I go away from that, I'm not sure you're going to get a full version of me. I'm not saying I'm cutting that off and something might come across me later in life that I want to have a go at. But at the moment, the sport and football is one that's really got hold of me, and one I don't really want to let go. I know it's not far away that you have to hang up your boots, but you want to play for as long as possible. It don't matter in any capacity. You want to play for as long as possible. And if I can be involved with football when I retire and give something back to whether it's adults or whether it's children, it doesn't really faze me in any capacity in that way. I think football has given me a platform and a life. It's given me a life, my children a life. It's given me a platform to listen. Not every human person comes down there and be greeted by 30, 40 kids and be sung to. Like that's kind of like where you're at, and I don't want to. The day that kind of disappears, it's like a shadow bit, and it's a scary thought as an individual that bit goes. And I think where we're so obsessed and so involved with our job because it's so dependent. Like if we win on a Saturday, everybody's great. On a Sunday, everyone walks into work on a Monday very happy. If we get beat on a Saturday, everyone's got the hump for the few days until we play next. And that's just how infectious football is for it. So I don't think it could never be a part of my life. So I think that's where I'll stay with it.
Owen, ask your question because your arm's shaking a bit.
What's the hardest thing you've had to overcome?
Injury. I've tore my hamstring off the bone, dislocated my shoulder, so I've been out for like 5-6 months, and the thought of not getting back to where you was when you get injured, that was the biggest thing. But I guess your drive is to be better, or at least to be, you set your own platform and your own standard where you need to be. So that would be my biggest achievement if that's the thing, to come back from that setback. When you're injured, nobody likes being injured because you're indoors, you want to have your boots on and play in football. So
do you believe you got back to that standard, Charlie, after the injury?
in certain ways yes, in certain ways no. As your body changes, I tore my hamstring off the bone, and to try and get back to certain ways, now you have to deal with your body changes, and especially when you get older, you can't. I never could move quick anyway, but you can't move as quick anymore as you get older, you know. But one thing I'm very fortunate about is I know how to score a couple of goals, so that
In the
right place,
in the right time.
yeah.
So, Luca?
Who's someone you wished you played with but didn't?
Ooh.
Mark Draycott.
No, I missed Drake. It was after me. Drake's come after me. When I was at Hungerford, you come after me, didn't you? We were playing in the Hellenic League. Drake played leagues above us.
Hey.
Who did I wish? Steven Gerrard. Steven Gerrard. He, being a Liverpool fan, he's the captain. He's just someone you watch. I was very fortunate to share a picture with him, and he was so strong, powerful. I think as a centre forward, it'd be a pleasure to play with him. Yeah.
Who was the hardest team you've ever played against? Hardest team?
Remember when Man City got 100 points that year? Yeah, in 2017, I think they got 100 points.
And also Messi
They was
or
hardest.
Ronaldo?
Or are you right? For years I was Ronaldo, but Messi, yeah.
We talk about Messi and Ronaldo and their qualities. What do you feel your best qualities were as a footballer?
I find the hardest thing in football quite easy, which is putting the ball in the back of the net. And that's the hardest thing in football. I think that's why the strikers get paid what they get paid, because they do the hardest thing. And I think that's where I'm at. But also, as the age has changed, I think off the pitch stuff, I've got a lot better at dealing with people, with people in certain ways. When I was a youngster, I didn't really care. It was just me, and that was it.
That's a very honest insight.
As a Swindon fan, I didn't renew this year because, like you, I play golf on a Saturday. So it's a priority.
Definitely. Don't blame you.
What's come in? Flynn's come in.
Yep.
What style of football can we expect to play? And are we signing any centre backs?
The second one I don't know. I think the second one I don't know. We're obviously in the market for a defender. Issue is that it's finding the right one, which is what people have been saying, but it really is, because we're loaded in certain places, but obviously in that one we are thin. There's no secret in that, but it's getting the right one in and what. I think we're going to be attacking, and I don't think Swindon, as you've seen the back end of last year and this, we don't really know much else, if I'm honest. And now the way the game's evolved, I don't think any manager or any team are defensive minded, are they really? If you see certain people, use Trent for argument's sake, he plays right back for Liverpool, but only on the team sheet he's right back. When the game starts, he's up at right wing, or he's playing midfield for England. So I think it'll be exciting. Everybody here, I think you look through the whole league, I think about 16, 17 will be saying they're in with a chance. So we will see.
It's probably the best League Two for a while.
For a long time, yeah.
Okay, brilliant questions so far. What we're going to do, we're going to take two more. Okay, so let's make these really insightful.
Who's the best player you've played with or against?
The best player I played with Virgil van Dijk. He's the best one. And they played against Eden Hazard.
Ooh.
He's the best. Or Mo Salah, one of the two.
And we had one more at the back, yes.
What was the one thing that inspired you to play football?
I didn't know anything else. I think when I was a child, when I was younger than your age, that's all I ever wanted to do. I think, like I said, I'd go back to it. I know it's probably boring in that we never had no electronics of any kind. I think we had a Game Boy, I think. That was it. So it was just football. And I think growing up, it was all young boys especially just wanted to play football with all their friends, and it just kind of took off from there. And I used to watch it on a Saturday and watch it on a Sunday, and I was just sucked in by it all of it on the TV, and I just thought, oh, one day I would love to be able to do that, but I was a long shot away. Football is just something that grips you, and I don't know how to explain it in any other way, if I'm honest. It's the only sport I think that can determine everyone's mood on a Saturday evening. So yeah, it's just something that I love doing. I love doing from such an early age.
Brilliant. Okay, guys, we're done with the time with the questions because there's been some fantastic ones there. Let's give Charlie a round of applause as well. And Charlie,
thank
can
you.
you give the campers a round of applause?
Of course
for
I
the
can.
fantastic
Thank you very
questions?
much, guys. Thank you, and for my reception. Honestly, thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Justin's obviously joined us.
Yeah.
Justin wants to ask anything.
Okay.
Oh yeah, one quick question
Yep.
that Mark Draycott's insisted I ask. You've had an amazing career. Your most prolific was when you played for Burnley and got to 20 goals. Your 20th goal against, was it Leeds United? How much of that was because your confidence and fitness was at a peak, or the supply of the players?
Do you know what? I just felt like I couldn't miss.
Wow.
I just had that much confidence. I just didn't think I would miss. I think it was the 17th of December I'd have scored my 20th, and I think I had 20. There was a guy in Sweden had 19 maybe, and then it was Ronaldo and Messi had 18 and 17. I just every time I put my boots on across the white line, I think at any point I was going to score. The analogy of golf is when they say putting putting the ball, it's like a bucket. Well, I felt like the goal was like as big as a house. I just felt I couldn't miss. So, but it also works. It's a team game. You use golf. Yes, you have your support off the pitch, but it comes to individual actions. When I was on there, I had great supply. Kieran Trippier, who's gone on to win La Liga for Atletico Madrid. He's played at Tottenham, beaten in the Champions League final. He's Newcastle captain. He was our right back. And sometimes you just have that connection with people. Wherever I went in the box, he used to find me, and from A to B, and then I used to just put it away. I don't know. It's confidence breeds everything, don't it? I think that is in any way of life. I think in any work capacity, confidence. If you're confident with your job and what you're doing, and really believe that, then you're going to get the best outcome. And for me, I was very fortunate. My confidence was so high at that point, and I was 23, so I didn't have much worries.
Brilliant. Any others round the back?
Charlie, big fan, mate. What's your favourite goal for Swindon and why?
I'd have to say the Charlton one in the playoffs at home. I'd like to say the one against Millwall at Wembley, but obviously we all know what happened there, so there's no dwelling on that. The goal I scored at home against Charlton, I think the importance of it, I should have scored in the first half, but the keeper made a good save from me. The volume of noise in that happened, and just a quick flashback to where I was at the start of that season to where obviously all it come to, it was so important. I think it was a full house in the county ground, and we obviously went on to win 2-1. The importance of that goal and the feeling and the pride, I guess, it brought to that I was able to give off for that one moment was something that will last for me for a very long time. Yeah.
And if I may, Charlie, last one. I have very fond memories of you and Billy Painter. Where would you say he ranks amongst your striking partnerships?
I think it's the combination, I guess, and the connection you make. Me and Bill trained every day, and then we was never on the same team. And when we played one game away at Reading, we played against Reading reserves, I think it was, and we won 4-2, and we both scored 2. It was the first time we played together, and the best ones just hit it off without even trying, really, and it just kind of went on. Throughout my career, I played with Bobby Zamora, who, when we was partnership, helped let's get to the Premier League and be there. But Bill would be right up there because he kind of gave me the platform to learn from. When I say this to other people that are not Swindon fans, I learned from Billy Paynter. Everyone's like, oh, how can you learn from Billy? But he showed me the dark arts of certain scenarios and how to deal with things, and I think that was just someone that I've taken on from when I first was to throughout my career, even to now. No worries.
Okay, so what we're going to do now, Charlie, again, thank you for your time.
Yeah, no problem, no problem.
So what we're going to do, a few of these guys have got bits for you to